Hey Gavin, what's in this box?
This is the Lyman Ultimate Reloading System. I think we should see what's included.
Absolutely.
Gavin, you here from UltimateReloader.com. I'm back with Guy Miner. We're going to have some fun with this.
You bet.
This is the Lyman Ultimate Reloading Kit. I totally love the name. It kind of matches our channel.
It does, very nicely.
What we're going to do in this video is we're going to get everything out of the box. We're going to talk about what's included, and then we're going to give Guy an assignment, right? You're going to go in a future video. We're going to put everything in this kit to use.
Outstanding.
Awesome. So, in our first shared unboxing, let's get this thing open. Look at all this gear.
It's a lot. It really is.
Yeah.
And it looks to be pretty much what you need to get going in this.
Yeah, so why don't we start on your side and we'll basically go through what's included.
Sure. Yeah. Starting over here, we've got their very nice Quick Slick case lube. Easy to use, works good. Lyman universal case trimmer. Good piece of gear. Their Pro Turbo Tumbler. I have never used this one before. Looking forward to it.
Yep.
Figure some walnut media or something in there and clean up our cases really good.
Absolutely.
We've got an interesting looking multi-tool for case prep, and that should be pretty handy. And then we've also got, looks like a nice set of stainless steel caliper.
Yeah, like 0 to 6 inch, just what you're going to need for cartridge overall length. You could measure things like bullet diameter, bullet length, you know, lots of uses definitely for the calipers. And then we've got the familiar All-American 8. We both spent some time behind this press, kind of takes things to the next level with 8 stations, which is nice. Cast iron, made in USA, gotta love that. The Magnum Inertia bullet puller, yes, especially when you're starting reloading, you're gonna make some mistakes. The E-ZEE Prime hand priming tool, we've got a loading block, and this Gen 6 powder dispenser. This is a lot of gear. Now the list price on this, the MSRP that Lyman has on their page is like $829. But I saw it online from a retailer for as little as like $599, $600. So, you know, based on what you're getting here, I mean, at the core, you've got a cast iron 8-station turret press. That's pretty awesome.
Very impressive press.
Okay.
I've been really happy, using the one.
Yeah. So why don't we next get all this stuff out of the boxes, and we'll show people what the actual products look like. How about that?
Instead of just boxes?
Yeah, exactly.
Good call.
Let's do it. First joint unboxing. Well, everything's out of the box. We did have one thing hiding in there, and that is the 50th anniversary reloading manual. So let's walk through what we've got here and kind of what you'd be using each of these products for when you go to reload with this.
Sure. I've got a lot of rifle brass that needs to be helped. It's empty, dirty brass. So this is going to give it a workout.
Awesome.
Their case lube, got to have that.
Yep, especially with bottleneck rifle cartridges.
Don't want to get any of those things stuck in the dies.
Yep.
So got to have a good case
There's kind
lube.
of one scenario where you don't need lube, right? If you've got straight wall pistol cases and carbide dies.
Carbide dies, yeah. Those things I remember when those were new.
Yeah.
And they came out, they just revolutionized reloading for handguns. All of a sudden, it was like much faster, much faster. Good piece of gear.
Yep.
Got to clean the dies. No, not the dies, the brass, excuse me. Got to clean the brass.
Yep.
That's going to do it. And also, after we have got the lube on there and we've resized them, then
Yep.
it's nice to toss them right back in there and get them all nice and dry and pretty.
Tumble it off. Yep.
Get rid
so
of them that way.
What kind of media are you planning on using? You've got corn cob, you've got walnut shell. You know, you can do wet with stainless steel pins, not with that, obviously. What have you been using lately?
Mostly I just use the walnut stuff. I started with that 150 years ago or so, and I'm still using it, so it works. That's probably what I'll do. Maybe I'll go to the pet store and pick up that litter stuff that you were mentioning before.
Parrot litter.
Parrot litter.
happens to be the same thing, and it happens to be sold in bulk, a little easier to find, sometimes cheaper than at the reloading store, you know. So
That's fine. I may do that just for fun.
and we've got the sifter lid, which I think is kind of nice. You can turn the machine on, things are shaking around in there, and then sometimes I've used a cardboard box or a large tub, invert it, shake it, and then invert it back, turn the machine off. Usually that gets pretty much rid of everything, and you don't have to do the whole rotary deal.
Yep. I've done the same thing with a similar unit, and probably do that again.
Nice.
Why not?
Yep.
You know, it works. Measuring. You got to be able to measure stuff. You know, overall length, and
These look pretty nice.
they do. I like the fact that they're steel.
0 to 6 inch, and then if the 0 is not correct, you can just kind of loosen this guy here, get your 0 perfectly on, and then as you go to measure stuff, and you know, maybe you're trimming brass and you want to see where you're at, where you need to be before and after.
Right.
That's a great thing. Cartridge overall length, you can put different tools on here, like the Hornady comparators tools, or you know, the short action custom stuff. Any of those types of tools will clamp right onto these jaws. Pretty much a necessity for reloading, and you can get by for pretty much all your measurements with that. Great to have a micrometer, but don't technically need to have it, you know.
Good, because I don't have one.
Okay.
So this will do just fine.
And we'll take care of that too over time.
Okay, that sounds good too. Guys, there's an instruction manual. I know that's tough for a lot of people to deal with, but there's a written instruction manual.
There's 3 of them in this whole thing because 3 of the different products had this manual. So you could even share with your friends if you needed to, if you get this kit. Yep.
Got to be able to trim your brass.
Yep.
I learned that lesson the hard way a long time ago, back in the 70s, when my brass was stretching, and I didn't know that about reloaded cases. They would stretch. Got to be able to trim it. And we'll use this to make that happen.
And if you trim it down about 20 thou below what the case length specification is, typically that's okay. And then that gives you a few sizings to get back up to the max length.
Because they will grow again.
Yep. Depending on the taper, some grow pretty fast.
They do. They do. Yep. There's a lot of the newer cases with those real sharp shoulders don't grow as fast.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yep. 224 Valkyrie, one example I can think of. Yep.
Yeah. Cool stuff. This, sorry, the old martial arts guy in me had to get away from thinking of it as other things.
As a defense tool?
This thing, yeah, it looks like a really useful tool for working on. We've got chamfering the inside, we've got deburring the outside of our case mouths. This thing looks like it's going to be very useful and easy to use. I like how big it is and easy to get a hold of.
And it looks like we can probably replace, look at that. They screw right in. So I have a bunch of tools with this threading on it.
Oh, cool.
I kind of like the fat handle on this because most of my tools are very small. You know, if you get the all-in-one double-ended trimmer, it's kind of small, and you know, especially if you had like arthritis or any kind of sensitivity, this would be really, really nice for that.
Yeah, looks easy to use. I like that.
Yep.
I hate using those little tiny things that you're just using your fingertips for. I like to be able to get a hold of something.
Yep. Impact puller, huh?
You know, once in a while when you're reloading, you make a mistake.
Once in a while.
And
or if you just want to inspect what's in factory ammo, actually, we just did that.
You did just do that. Yep. At any rate, that'll be useful. I've got some 45 stuff that I need to take apart and
you know what I didn't realize when I first got one of these tools? They come with collets that cover 2 different size ranges of case rims, but you can also just take one of your standard shell holders from like a single stage press or a turret. You can put it right here with the cartridge inverted, and then that's a little bit easier to manipulate. These are more universal, so you have both options.
I hadn't thought of that.
Yep, and you can pound that directly on concrete, which tends to work better. You'd think the thing would shatter. No, they're really resilient, and the harder the surface and the more solid it is, the more of the inertia that gets transferred to the cartridge, right? So that bullet just wants to keep working its way out.
Yep.
That's a nicer handle than I have on the other ones too, the rubberized grip.
Yes, I like that. That's, again, it looks like it'd be real easy to use, get a hold of, just like this. You know, it's something, they put some thought into this. I like what I'm seeing so far. Obviously, the 8-station turret press here, you've got me using one of those now for a few months, and I'm sold. I love it. So
I saw these at the factory. Here's what's cool about Lyman. They have figured out how to source local cast iron from foundries. And they do all the CNC manufacturing in-house, and they've really optimized their process so that they can keep multiple machines running, and figured out how to employ a U.S. labor force, give people jobs. They're part of the local community. I mean, this is real evidence of their dedication to bringing a product to the U.S. market that's reasonably priced and, you know, put together on U.S. soil by U.S. labor force. It's really cool stuff.
That's impressive, especially with the foundries being nearby.
Yeah, and that turns out to be an important part of the whole equation for multiple reasons. And it does cost more to ship this, but if you want something solid that isn't going to wear out, cast iron is hard to beat. Yeah. So that was really cool.
That's a serious piece of gear right there.
And we do have the unboxing and overview video on this, which we'll link to in the article for this story, where we go into a lot more detail about the press, the priming system, the setup, kind of all that stuff. Yes, so working our way, we did find finally in the box the Lyman 50th edition manual. And you know what I think would be cool is I want you to do a story comparing a bunch of different manuals.
Okay, yeah.
I think that would be a really valuable resource because, you know, every manual has different information in it.
They do.
The conceptual information, the load data, like Lee's, for instance, has reduced loads, right? That's one of the reasons to go with that one. I've seen the ballistics testing setup that they have at Lyman. They have their own shooting range in the factory and everything, where they have the pressure test barrels, and they do a lot of work. This has become one of the standard novels on the subject, if you will, because of its extensiveness and its history. It's the oldest manual that's still on the market.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't think that a lot of reloaders understand how many thousands of bullets get fired by the people that are putting this data together.
Yep.
You know, they so many rounds. I may use 30 or 40 rounds to work up my hunting load for some rifle,
right?
And then load another 20 or 30 for the season.
Yep.
And that's what I'll do. Very minute scale compared to the amount of ammunition that they burn putting one of these things together.
Yeah, and when you're looking for data and you're looking for performance results, right? I like to consult with multiple sources. It can be important from a safety standpoint, but then also it gives you more perspectives on, you know, what kind of velocities am I going to look for, right? And what kind of performance am I going to look for? And then to complement that with some of the new tools like Gordon's reloading tool, where you can actually model stuff in software. You might not have the time for that. You might not have the need for that, especially with 30-06 hunting ammo, for instance. This is pretty good. Take care of everything that you need there. Well, I mean, what is there more data for than 30-06? I mean, it's been around forever. We've also got a loading block here, which is two-sided. I like the color on that. And then we have the hand priming tool. I have not used this one yet. It comes with everything for large and for small primers.
I really like priming on a handheld tool. Which is a habit I got into a long time ago. Imagine that. And you know, this is one I've never used. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to giving it a try.
Yep. And then we have the powder dispenser, and it comes with, I already snapped in the North American prongs here. We've also got multiple international options there. This is nice because this is probably the most compact unit that I have in the shop. And if you don't have a lot of space, this is going to sit right on the edge of the shelf there, and you can pull it out. It'll be interesting to see. This is another product that I haven't used yet. So here's what I'm thinking.
I got a place for it on my bench.
Okay, good. I'm thinking you take all this home, you get it all set up in your reloading room. We've got a lot of stories coming up.
We do.
That you're working on, I know, that you've already been working on, in fact, with this guy. I would like to have you try all this stuff, you know, the stuff we've tried and the stuff that we haven't tried, and we'll work that into some stories as kind of a full circle on this story, you know. And, you know, some of these maybe we'll pull aside and do a complete dedicated video on. In fact, if you want to see one of these products in more depth that we haven't covered in depth on the channel, please drop a comment, and we'll add that to the list, as it were. This is going to be fun.
It is, yeah.
It's like Christmas morning, huh?
It is, in February. Kind of cool, you know. We just had Christmas. I didn't get much. So, you know, this is all right. Yeah, go home and... It's just awful that I have to go home and do some hand loading for my my homework assignment.
Oh boy, isn't life tough?
It's just brutal.
Well, you're going to have your work cut out for you for a little while. Again, I think this is a great comprehensive kit if you want to upgrade and have old equipment that you're not happy with, or if you're just starting from scratch. This is going to be something that you can not only start with but grow into. You know, having 8 stations on your turret, that'll get you 2 or 3 rifle setups at least that you can just spin around between. And
the nice thing about turret for a beginner is you can just use it as a single stage. Absolutely nice and simple. You put your resizer decapper die in, and you put your bullet seeder die in, and that's it. You know, and you just use those 2, and so simple. Or you can use it to really speed up your process. Not like a progressive, but faster.
Exactly. And another note, this is most of what you need to start reloading. Obviously, you need primers and powder and some other things. So if you click on that first link in the video description again, the article will link to my what you need to load rifle ammunition and what you need to load pistol ammunition articles that I wrote. It's got a full list and a table of everything. Every big thing, every little thing that you're going to need to get started loading either pistol or rifle ammunition. So that would complement this. This gets a lot of the work done for you. There's some additional components and tools and supplies that you are either optional or really mandatory. Like a case gauge is a really good tool to have, and that's caliber specific, as are the dies, you know. So this gets you most of the way there, and then you can fill out your bill of materials, and, you know, pretty soon you'll be loading your own ammo. It's pretty exciting to shoot your own ammo for the first time.
It is exciting to shoot it for the first time. It can be a lot of fun, very rewarding, whether you're target shooting or hunting with it. I tell you, I get a lot of satisfaction. You know, I like to hunt, and when I take down
Understatement.
when I take down game with my own ammo, it feels good.
Oh yeah.
It's like, well, that worked.
Yes.
And honestly, I can't remember the last time I brought down a big game animal with anything except my own hand loads.
Nice.
So it's been a long, long time.
You know what's better than that? Is when you built the rifle too.
Ah, okay. I know a guy.
Building ammos and building rifle and then taking game or hitting a target at range. I mean, it's awesome. It's why we do what we do.
It is, yeah. And it's a lifelong pursuit.
Cool. Okay. Well, Guy's got his homework from me. If you have additional ideas for Guy, again, add your feedback in the comments. That concludes this video, and that means it's time to wrap it up. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Also, make your voice heard. If you have something to say, please drop a comment. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications, because you're not going to want to miss the awesome content that is coming up. And finally, flex your reloading pride. You could look great in one of these t-shirts. We've got multiple designs at the Ultimate Reloader store. I'll see you later, because I'm off to go shooting.